Hey guys, welcome to your weekly show. I'm back here with Alasdair again, and today the discussion is going to be the Mzansi Super League 2.0. So stay tuned, give us a comment, share this post, and subscribe right now before the video starts. Thanks, guys. So we've got Mzansi Super League 2.0, and after the success of the first campaign, it's going to be quite an exciting campaign. I was quite interested in this draft happening obviously on Tuesday, the 3rd of September, for the guys that are going to obviously watch this video at a later stage. The thing that stood out to me was obviously that million-rand bracket. It never really lit up the draft really because I mean a lot of the teams actually retained their players. We had guys like Liam Livingston is a new guy that came in for the Blitz. He plays in the English County and T20 Blast, etc. So they're bringing that experience into it. We've got a guy like obviously like Rassie van der Dussen that was retained by the Josie Stars. We got a guy like JP Dumini that was picked up obviously by the Paul Rocks instead of going to the Cape Town Blitz like last season. That was quite an interesting thing because obviously major rivals. We've got a guy like Chris Morris that was retained. And then we got a guy like Monet Morkel that was picked up. That was quite an interesting one because I didn't think that he would be in that million bracket.
Yeah.
But he was picked up. And then obviously we got David Miller retained by the Durban Heat. So quite interesting million-rand players. What do you make of those first round picks? Are you excited about them or are you quite puzzled about them?
Better than a slap in the face, $1 million. In IPL world, that's pocket change, but I think it's good. Look, it's a start. I mean, this is MSL 2.0. So last season I thought was a success given the little amount of time that they were able to do things. There's no broadcaster. Obviously it's going to be on SABC again. I could have told you, like I told you last year, it was going to be them, which is great because it spreads the game. Yes, it doesn't have the glitz and glamour, and we have a glut of T20 competitions. But yeah, it's encouraging to see. I mean, we need to have these names in there. This is our South African domestic scene. It's an added dessert to the scene, and the fans will come out as they did last year. And it's business as usual for me seeing those marquee signings.
Yeah, and also like if you look at the teams, I think there's a lot more balance to the sides this time around. I think it's because obviously they knew how the draft worked. No one buzzed in. No one was buzzed off for making picks that weren't contained or in the rules of the Mzansi Super League draft. A lot of the guys as well, they went for a lot of all-round spinners, which is going to be an interesting thing because I think that's the pick that's going to change the momentum of everybody's season.
Yeah,
we've got guys like George Linder, and the interesting thing was that Josie Stars actually tried to snap up George Linder, and the Cape Town Blitz put up their hands and said, "No ways, we're going to keep him. We want to retain him." So they paid a price for that, but I mean, those spinning all-rounders are going to be play key in this tournament.
They made a run for them, your Bjorn Fortuins and that, South Africa ODIs, they've lost a lot of, we used to have a Robbie P, and it'd be interesting to see these guys coming through. George Linder is good. I'll be glad to see Bjorn Fortuin. JP Durman, he's not really a spinning all-rounder, but he does add that value. So it's encouraging to see that there's something there, but I just like the look, you'll speak about it now, the makeup of the Josie Stars and the Cape Town Blitz. I'm glad to see Quinton de Kock there. He just looked like he enjoyed himself while he was down here. I know he would have liked to be in the bush and doing those type of things, but yeah, it's good. It's good.
So I'm just going to go, forgive me guys, the draft was just a few hours ago, so I obviously don't know all the teams verbatim, but I'm just going to go through some of the key names from every side. And don't feel offended if I missed your name. We want to try to keep this video entertaining and within 10 minutes. So I'm going to start with the Cape Town Blitz because obviously they were top of the log last season. So if you look at the names, what stands out to me about the Cape Town Blitz is obviously their bowling attack. With the likes of Waber Riaz, who's the international marquee player.
Great.
Amazing left-arm seamer. We saw him in the World Cup and how amazing he was for Pakistan.
I love him.
Then we've got Dale Steyn, Andrich Nokia, And a surprise one, which I thought was quite an interesting one, because obviously because of the transformation targets as well, they picked their seamer very well, was the Sanda Mangala. That guy is an unbelievable T20 bowler with regards to his economical style of bowling.
I think credit to Ashwell Prince. It's a shrewd plan that he's got there, and you can see obviously he's got a game plan drilled towards a bowling attack. I mean, we've got the bowling conditions for it, so you might as well utilize it.
Yeah. And also, what do you think about them keeping their Pakistani players, obviously Mohammad Nawaz and obviously Asif Ali?
Yeah, it's good. It keeps a kind of a culture of those guys in there with Rio. So there's a continuity. The Cape Town Blitz came so close to winning it last year. So I think that they've got plans to stake a claim. I feel that Ashwell Prince is knocking on a trophy door quite soon. So this could be one of them, and very early at the season.
And if you look at it as well, the one thing that stood out for me is that they have quite a young batting lineup again. So obviously with David Bellingham they picked, and obviously with Yanaman Malan coming in there, it's time for Yanaman to shine this season, I think. And obviously they've also got another young prospect, Marcus Ackerman, which was quite a surprise for me.
It's a bit of a straight out of left field, but I mean we can see how it goes, because you'll kind of know what the lineup is from last year, and then you'll try and rearrange it. But obviously that connection there, it's good to see basically.
So we move on to the Josie Stars, who won the competition last season. I mean, they obviously retained the core group of their team.
Yeah,
I mean, there are Riza Hendricks, Rassie van der Dussen, Ryan Rickleton they retained. That was an amazing
I rated
thing.
him last season, when we were doing it last year. I thought he was great. I thought maybe he would get a call up to the ODI side or something, or just be in the camp. Having Chris Gale there, that extra. I mean, Chris Gale's semi-retired, but he's there. The guys can learn from him, maybe see how he's able to hit the ball as hard as he does. And Ryan had a great run last season, so it's good to see continuity. That's a very strong team. You've got Rassie van der Dussen, Riza Hendricks is there. There's really good players. So strong, almost the counter to the Cape Town Blitz's bowling with their batting.
And also another thing about them is their strong batting lineup. Obviously, they bat quite deep, like to 8. They have another youngster, Dalano Potgieter. We've done a feature on him before. Go check that out on the site. That's another great aspect to see, that they're going for those all-rounders, trying to give them opportunity.
And you got Rabada,
and of course
in the bowling line. Beautiful, I love it.
Yeah, and also with Rabada, arrested Rabada.
Yeah, thank heavens. Yeah, we've wanted that. That's exactly what we wanted. So
we're going to move on to some of the other teams. Okay, so a lot of the other teams, they showed that bit of fight, but at the wrong times. Like the Paul Rocks, for example, started off very poorly last season, but they came back finished very strongly. And also
it had a lot to do with Faf. Remember, Faf came in later on, and he just gave that calming influence into the team, his experience, and it showed. You could see if I remember saying to you at the time, if Paul Rocks had 3 or 4 more games, they would have made the playoffs. Yeah,
so I'm going to look at some of the players here. You can look at it with me. If you look at some of the players there that stand out, obviously JP Dumini, Tabrei Shamsi. Huddersfield Union was an interesting all-rounder that they went for a fast bowler that bowls 140 plus. That's important.
Lines,
and also and he's played in England as well. Got Aiden Markham that they've retained. I mean, that's a massive one. You never know what Aiden's going to do. Some days he will score 150 for you. Sometimes he'll maybe go out in the 30, but
it's great always fielder, adds value, can bowl spin.
Then also another interesting one for the Paul Rocks was Dwayne Pretorius for me. They don't have the likes of Dwayne Bravo in their side, the guy that brings the party to the Paul Rocks last year. They don't have that right there, so they've gone for someone, I wouldn't say really similar, but he's a Proteas version of him, which is Dwayne Pretorius.
We're yet to see the best of Dwayne Pretorius, and hopefully we can actually see him perform here at on the MSL and move forward, because he's got potential. We saw some really great bowling from him towards the back end of the World Cup.
Yeah, and we don't know if Dwayne can bring the party. We've never seen him before on a karaoke night.
Oh, we could see. Or maybe a soki.
So we will look at some of the other big hitters. Someone like James Vince that they brought in. That's an interesting one. Obviously, an overseas player. And Mangaliso Masegli was retained.
Yes.
Obviously, he was not retained, but he played last
season.
Another interesting one for me was Frisco Adams, bringing him back to his own town. So obviously, the Paul Rocks fans, we've seen that stadium. We will urge all of you guys to at least go watch one game at Boland Park, because I mean it might be a very small stadium with a little bit of people, but the vibe there is unbelievable.
Well, you can get frisky for Frisco.
And with his nickname, the Iceman, I mean, come on, you know what he brings to the T20
Exactly. And the thing is, T20 in this country needs these these characters. You need these funny names. You need a little bit more kind of spice to juice things up a bit. Yeah.
So we move on to the Nelson Mandela-based Giants, of course. They were previously the Stars when we were supposed to have the Global T20, so it's kind of a time twister.
Yeah.
But now they're the Giants. The major one for me on this list is the international market player, Jason Roy. I mean, World Cup winner.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, Master Blaster, top player. Got so many aspects to his play. Adds variety. And then, obviously with Imran Tahir there, so you can see there's going to be Imran Tahir with the wickets and Roy going in there to blast. So they've got match winners. They've got 2 match winners. We just roll them off our tongue there.
Yeah, and obviously we know that what Farhan Biadin can bring to the T20 game. They took him from the Blitz. Yeah. What do you think of Farhan Biadin's?
Very, very smart move. Brings loads of experience. Can bowl a little bit. Underrated with the bat when he's given a chance. He does show that he has what it takes. Has a calming influence. I felt he led the Blitz well last season. It was his hometown, but he's always been a Titans boy. But yeah, great call there. Great call, yeah.
And another Titans boy they added is Junior Dala to bring some space to that attack. Yeah. Obviously, Junior Dala has been on the domestic scene. He's been an amazing bowler for the Titans. Yeah. So it's a good aspect to see him also in there as well. So we're going to move on again because I know we need to rush this a little bit. But we're going on to the Tshwane Spartans, Mark Boucher's little team.
Yeah.
We know that Abe de Villiers is their main guy.
What's it? Abe de Villiers is their main guy. Fantastic to see him. Always an opportunity. I've said in a previous video. First game at Newlands, Cape Town Blitz versus Tshwane Spartans. The place was packed because they wanted to see AB bat. People want to see AB. They want entertainment. They want value. The kids love him. He's got more to show considering what happened in the World Cup. It's going to be interesting times. Pretty much the same nucleus of the squad they had. Glad to see Roelof van der Merwe coming from nowhere. We know he's been playing for Holland. I've always been a big fan of him. Yeah, he's now more of a veteran status, but he adds value to that team, and that's important.
And they also have this young 17-year-old spinning all-rounder Chinaman, Waqar, from Afghanistan. I don't know, I've never heard of him before, so if you guys know who he is, please let us know in the comment section below. Or let us know in the comment section below.
No, it's great, it's fantastic. That, once again, another kind of interesting pick, something we haven't seen. South Africans generally embrace folks who are not from here, that they show something, and I think we'll see some really little interesting performances from the youngster. Yeah.
Cool. And then lastly, but not least, obviously the Durban Heat, run by Gary Kirsten, of course. If you look at it,
very interesting.
They're giving Alex Hales a shot here after his turmoil. He didn't get a chance to go to play in the World Cup. We know what it's like to have a guy that is hungry to prove his worth to the world of cricket. And Alex Hales is going to be in that bracket. Andila Pehlekwayo, back from the Blitz. He's now back at his hometown as the marquee player. And then, of course, we've got Ravi Bopara, who's another one from overseas that's going to be a good addition to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's, obviously experienced there. He's done the circuit well. Can give a bit of a, perhaps Gary Kirsten is identified as someone who can give a guiding hand to the youngsters. Perhaps with his connection, Alex Hale might enjoy that. But I liken the Alex Hale selection to almost like when KP came here and debuted for England and just showed South Africa what he's made of. And I think Alex Hales will want to prove his value and just get back into form. And kind of, we saw with Ben Stokes, he turned his career around within a year. So can Alex Hales. For me, Durban Heat's a dark horse with Gary Kirsten as coach. He's meticulous and he knows what he's doing. And there'll be a plan. And I felt last season there was no plan. Absolutely, no plan.
Sorry, man. And you can also see that they've obviously going to play to their home conditions with the amount of spinners they've picked. They've got Keshav Maharaj in that team. They've got Subrayan in that team. Vian Lubbe, who's an all-round spinner. And obviously Sean Van Berg as well they brought into that team. So quite an interesting way that they're going to approach the season. So guys, those are the teams and those are short summaries of each team and who we think will stand out from each team. To finish off this video, we just want to talk about some of the snubs. So there were some snubs in this edition of the Mzansi Super League that was quite puzzling. One of those was Kyle Verheyen from the Blitz, who had quite a decent season last season in the T20 competition as well as in the Mzansi Super League. You've got a guy like Patrick Kruger that we know is a big hitter. You've got Shadley van Schalkwijk that hasn't been picked up. There's obviously
Robbie Vreeling.
There's Andries Gous.
Andries Gous, yeah.
So
I mean, you wonder why John Smuts is still playing for his team, and then you got like Freylink, who's like old head, and as far as I'm concerned, still has like value to add to his team. He's not there. Calvarena is puzzling because of maybe there's enough wicket keepers or something to that stage. He might be a wild card selection.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, there's a few like interesting selections that
Yeah, Dave
exactly.
Patterson as
Dane
well.
Patterson. I don't understand that.
That was not. I don't think that was a smart decision to not
No,
go with him.
unless he's injured or there's something not right. But I can't. I would have expected him to be in at least maybe the Paul Rocks or Cape Town Blitz.
But before we get ahead of ourselves here, there is a wild card pick still available. Apparently, that Cody van Zyl spoke about it, and he said that he wants to kind of connect it with our domestic T20 competition. So I don't know how they're going to connect the whole thing when people are going to pick their wild cards. But maybe there's still a chance for people to pick their rookies, because a lot of teams don't have rookies, and it might be an opportunity for them to pick their rookies at their wild card. So, Alasdair, just some last words about the Mzansi Super League. Are you excited about it?
I'm super amped, and I'll be watching on SABC with all the people, the Casnadus and all of those folks, and I look forward to it. It's going to be fun. It's extra sport. It'll be post-World Cup, the rugby, so interesting times ahead of us.
Thank you, guys. That's our take on the Mzansi Super League draft. I would like to know your opinions in the comment section below, so give us a thumbs up, share our video, and please comment, like, share, and obviously press the subscribe button and that notification bell. Thanks, guys.